Okay, let's unpack this. We've got a massive Black Desert MMORPG update on our hands. Pretty chunky download, actually. About 4.16 gigabytes.
Yeah, that's substantial.
And the notes, these are direct from the official game announcement for the August 7th, 2025 patch. They are dense, really dense.
Mm-hmm.
So our mission today is to kind of cut through all that noise, figure out what's truly essential, and understand what these changes really mean for how you actually play the game.
And what's fascinating here right away is how much they're packing in, but also, well, the transparency about the biggest news.
Which is?
The postponement of Edenia World.
Yeah.
The really highly anticipated content.
Yeah, the delay.
But it's not just that they delayed it. They were really explicit about why. They mentioned this commitment to perfection, saying the first step is the first impression.
Right. For a big update mixing new systems and content, that makes sense.
Exactly. It feels like a very calculated decision. They seem to believe, probably rightly, that a rough launch for something this significant could have a lasting negative impact, player perception and all that.
Okay, so that delay might sting a little for people really eager to jump in. I know I was. But they've actually laid out a new schedule. It's phased now.
Yeah, it looks pretty strategic.
So update 1, that's hitting globally August 21st. Korea gets it a day earlier, August 20th.
Okay.
And this first update, it includes the first 3 main Edenia quests. Plus, we're getting brand new hunting areas. Aetherian Castle, Nymphomera Castle, Orbita Castle.
Those sound interesting. New bosses too, right?
Yeah, Jardine, Lascalgar, and Ancilla. And there's the Ruler of Adana content, plus a whole bunch of new items like Monarch subweapon, Adana armor, Bright Ore artifacts, other consumables too.
Yeah.
It's a lot for just the first part.
It really is. And if we, connect this to the bigger picture, this whole 2-part release, and their willingness to delay just to polish things up, it really emphasizes that commitment to a smooth launch, a really impactful one. It feels like they're prioritizing that quality player experience over just like rushing the content out.
Right, so quality over speed.
Seems like it. And then update 2 follows globally, September 11th. Again, Korea, a day ahead on September 10th.
And that brings
the conclusion. 2 more main Edenia quests, more hunting areas, Tenebram and Zephyros this time, and new bosses, Courtier and Caplis.
So they've got a clear roadmap, just spread out a bit more.
Exactly. It shows a clear vision for rolling out Edenia in a way that's hopefully digestible and really polished for players.
Okay, moving on from the big content drop. Or, well, the planned content drop. Let's talk core gameplay. Nothing hits home more than how your character feels in a fight, right?
Absolutely. Combat rebalances. Always huge.
So these changes are going to be felt by, well, pretty much everyone eventually.
Precisely. And the overarching philosophy here, what they've said is it's a targeted effort. They're focusing on classes that frequently rely on those mouse movement skills, particularly in PvP.
Ah, okay. So not just blanket nerfs or buffs.
Right. It sounds like it's less about just tweaking numbers and more about re-emphasizing each class's unique strengths, their playstyle identity. And they also mentioned they're carefully analyzing other affected classes beyond this initial group.
Suggests an ongoing process, then.
Yeah, like an iterative approach to balance, which is pretty vital for a game like Black Desert. The meta is always shifting.
Okay, that targeted approach makes sense. So let's look at Ninja and Kunoichi specifically, but maybe focus on the why behind the changes, not every single stat tweak.
Good idea.
For both main weapon and succession, the big theme seems to be strategic defense, controlled engagement, like smokescreen changing.
That's a big one. It now only applies stun to monsters.
Which is huge for
Yeah.
PvP, right? Completely changes how they might use it to engage.
Absolutely. Its old defensive bits, the special defense and status effect resistance, they've been moved over to Ninjutsu, Shadowstorm.
And Shadowstorm itself got a buff.
A significant one. It's shifting from front guard to super armor during the skill use.
Wow, okay. Super armor is basically full invincibility frames, isn't it?
Pretty much. Makes it a much safer and honestly more aggressive tool for going in, for getting out. Big change.
Yeah, definitely fundamental.
And then for Succession Ninja specifically, there's this intentional doubling down on the whole stealth aspect.
How so?
Succession Ninjutsu. Concealment. It now auto-activates when you use the base skill in Succession. And crucially, stealth won't break just from attacking.
Only from abnormal status effects, like stuns or grabs.
Exactly. Plus, when you're sprinting in this stealth state, it won't consume stamina for the first 5 seconds.
that's not just a minor tweak. That really leans into that elusive, sneaky playstyle. Makes stealth much more reliable, much more dangerous.
It's a real commitment to that identity, yeah.
So what about Awakening Ninja? Any major shifts there?
Yeah, a couple of key things. Shadow Splitting now gets super armor.
More survivability.
Right. And its abnormal status effect changes from floating to knockdown, which is generally more reliable, more impactful in PvP.
Knockdown is always good.
And Silent Rush, the all evasion buff it gives, its duration is doubled from 5 seconds to 10 seconds.
Wow, okay. That's a nice boost. And Kunoichi Awakening?
Moonlight Rain gets some love. Faster attack animation, which always feels good.
Definitely.
The abnormal status changes from knockdown to shock, and it now applies to adventurers, which is important. And the cooldown's reduced from 9 seconds down to 7.
So quicker, potentially more disruptive in fights. These all sound like they're aimed at making these classes more impactful when things get hectic.
Exactly. And it's not just them. Berserker got some attention too.
Oh yeah. What changed for them?
Strong. Giant Smash consumes way less stamina now. Dropped from 250 down to 150.
That's significant. More smashing, less pausing, gives them more sustained pressure.
For sure. And Giant Leap, they increase the fall speed slightly when you use it to chain skills midair.
Oh, interesting. So potentially smoother aerial combos.
Yeah.
More fluid movement.
Could open up some new possibilities, yeah.
Yeah.
Make their aerial game feel a bit tighter. And, this raises an important question about the broader impact.
How so?
Well, beyond these highlighted changes, there's just this extensive list of class-specific bug fixes. And while they seem small, they really shape the meta over time.
Like what kind of fixes?
Little things, like they fixed a Valkyrie issue where one of her defense buffs wasn't stacking properly with other character buffs, or for Berserker, correcting skill descriptions.
Oh, don't get me started on vague skill descriptions. Knowing exactly what a skill does is huge. It's not just gameplay, it's like mental sanity.
Exactly. Clarity is a massive win. These small tweaks, taken together, they just create a much smoother experience, remove those little hidden frustrations.
Yeah, that commitment to polish seems to go way beyond just the big class balance stuff.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, Combat gets the spotlight. They've clearly been busy improving all sorts of foundational parts of the game. Everything from hunting zones to, the economy.
Like the monster balancing, I saw notes on that.
Yeah, some significant efforts there in popular spots. Honglam Base, for example, the Wildcat Bandits, their HP is down by 20%.
20%. For anyone grinding there, that's faster clears, potentially more silver per hour. That's a nice efficiency boost.
Definitely. Hex Sanctuary in Elvia also saw changes reduce captive drops, less Agris fever consumption, and Tungrad Ruins, the Tungrad Priest HP is down 10%.
So tweaking the grind across several key zones.
Seems like it. And maybe the biggest news for grinders, a brand new Marni Secret Room. This one's in Oliechia, the Elvia version.
Oh, interesting. How does that work?
Requires 1 Void Crystal to get in. You get 60 minutes inside, private instance. Then there's a short 5-minute cooldown before you can go back in.
A personal instanced grind spot? That sounds like a potential game changer for solo players, right? Could really reduce fighting over spots.
It definitely could. It provides that guaranteed hour without interruption. It might ease some pressure in those high-value open-world areas, maybe smooth things out overall, let people focus on efficiency without constant PvP worries.
Makes sense. What about Node and Conquest Wars? Any big changes there?
Some rebalancing, yeah. Arrow Tower damage is down, about 19% for the standard Arrow Tower, and 23% for the Great Arrow Tower in Conquest and the Occupy Node Wars.
So structures are a bit less deadly.
A bit, yeah. And in Construction Node Wars, the Great Arrow Tower damage is reduced by about 12.5%.
So slightly easier for attackers to push could make sieges more dynamic?
That's likely the goal. Less turtling, maybe more movement. They also fixed some key bugs related to damage application on structures, and importantly, they fixed that nasty bug where allies could sometimes appear as enemies if you were in the liberation state during Conquest War.
Oh, that's a critical fix. Misidentifying friendlies in the middle of a siege is bad.
Very bad, so good catch there.
And on a lighter note, saw something about chat groups.
Yeah, they're resetting the chat group recommendations soon. Always a good time to find maybe a new guild or community.
And titles, temporary ones.
That's right. Active players are getting temporary 90-day titles. They come with golden, silver, or bronze black spirit icons. These like Novice Adventurer Guardian or Kind Captain. Just a little nod,
Nice little perk for sticking around.
And from an inventory and item perspective, a couple of practical improvements. The Bright Ore description is updated, hopefully clearer now.
Clarity again, good.
And the gemstone group that used to be called Ignore All Resistance, it's been renamed. Now it's just accuracy.
Much better. Ignore all resistance was always a bit confusing. Accuracy gets straight to the point of what it does, especially helpful for newer players.
Exactly. And one more kind of charming detail. Summer outfits.
Oh yeah, what about them?
You can now mix and match pieces from different summer sets like Coco, Elfento, Marrow, and still get the full plus 42% swim speed set bonus.
Oh, that's cool. So you don't have to wear the entire matching set just for the speed buff. More fashion freedom.
Yeah, just a small player-friendly change shows they're paying attention to those little details too.
You know, what's truly impressive when you really dig into these patch notes, beyond the big stuff like Adenia or the class changes, it's the sheer volume of improvements and fixes.
Hundreds of them, right.
Hundreds. Minor things, but they add up. It's almost like a rapid-fire list. They fixed HP bar reset issues when you use fairy skills. UI display problems in joystick mode, like overlapping key guides, item details not showing right.
Those UI bugs can be super annoying.
Appearance fixes for various outfits on classes like Berserker, Valkyrie, Guardian, Wukong. Corrections for skill buffs not applying properly in specific content like Rift of Darkness or the Black Shrine in Huanghai City.
Right, things you might not even notice unless it happens to you, but it breaks something fundamental.
Exactly. Map display issues in Sacrea and Valencia North Coast. Even vehicle summoning bugs like rafts accidentally going to Ilia Island instead of Cute Island. It's like they had a dedicated team just combing through every tiny player report.
And that extensive list, covering everything from those major content plans right down to these countless tiny fixes,
Yeah.
it really does reflect that continuous commitment, doesn't it, to the game's overall health, the player experience.
Yeah.
It kind of raises that interesting question again. How do developers effectively balance those huge grand content plans with the, let's be honest, everyday grind of just fixing bugs?
It's a massive undertaking.
It demonstrates that this isn't just about releasing new chapters for Black Desert. They're constantly refining the existing ones.
Yeah.
And that, I think, builds a lot of player trust and loyalty. That consistent polish matters.
So, boiling it all down, what does this all mean for you, the player? I think it means you're playing a game that is actively evolving. It feels like they're listening, or at least trying to address community feedback and really striving for that polished experience.
Agreed.
The strategic delay and the phase release for Adenia, the really nuanced rebalancing of core combat, plus all these broad quality of life improvements. It paints a picture of dedicated development, a real commitment to the game's long-term health.
Definitely. And maybe a final thought for you to consider. What is this level of continuous, really detailed development in an MMO who's been around for a while now? What does that suggest about the future of online gaming in general? And maybe, how do all these smaller incremental changes, these bug fixes and tweaks, how do they ultimately shape the grand narratives playing out in these digital worlds and shape the communities within them? Something to think about.